Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation, and you exhale. Allow feelings of any tension, stress, or worries to leave your body in that outward breath. So much so that as you breathe in and breathe out, imagine a wonderful feeling of relaxation start at the very tip of your head and flow down, all the way down to the very tips of your toes, releasing any tension and feeling that tension leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice your breathing slows down. You feel more comfortable. And I wonder what would happen if you imagined a seed being planted in a childhood garden. Imagine that what turn out to be big trees were originally tiny seeds planted in the soil. And I want you to imagine that garden and think perhaps about seeds of ideas that were planted in the garden of your mind as a child. Perhaps long ago, seeds of ideas were planted. Maybe ideas like, you don't deserve to be loved. That the men in your life will just use you and leave you behind. That sooner or later, you will always be left alone. And to begin with, those seeds were fragile, delicate. But maybe with repetition, it's the equivalent of rainwater and sunshine, and those seeds became sprouts. The sprouts become a sapling of a small tree. And over time, that tiny seed of an idea became a tree. And I want you to think of a time where you held these beliefs to be true. And maybe consciously you no longer do, but there may be an echo of unconscious ideas that you don't deserve to be loved, that you will be used, that you will always be left alone. And maybe later in life, you planted a seed of an idea all by yourself. Maybe that you don't need anyone. Or maybe that to have the person you want, you need to buy their affection or buy their love. And none of these ideas are true. But sometimes big trees can grow from tiny seeds. And I want you to think, perhaps, what if these trees that aren't true create emotions that aren't real, that create self-fulfilling prophecies that close doors? And maybe these doors are closed to companionship. Maybe there's a door closed to passion, affection, understanding, connection. But what if we can change some of these old ideas to open locked doors? And I want you to go back in time and imagine being a child hearing these words, perhaps from a mother, about how you don't deserve to be loved. that you'll always be alone. And sometimes the antidote to delicate seeds of ideas isn't contradiction or ridicule. Sometimes something as simple as confusion is all it takes to unplant a seed of an idea. So I want you to try your hardest to feel that you don't deserve to be loved, that you will be used, that you'll always be alone, while simultaneously imagining a small animal nearby that can talk. And I want you to imagine this small animal is reading a poem, a nonsensical poem that can't make sense. And maybe it's a bird or a kitten, maybe a hamster or a rabbit. But see this tiny animal reading a poem. In the moonlit cheese, we found a glove. A quacking turtle sang of love. A fish with wings, a horse in flight. In this tangled web, we find our delight. The teapot danced with mirth and glee, while pineapples wrote poetry by the sea. With socks on hands and shoes on ears, in this topsy-turvy world, we conquer our fears. A rubber duck serenades the sun. As donuts sing, we're second to none. The moon blinks twice. The stars debate. In this whimsical realm, love is our fate. So let's twirl in circles upside down in this nonsensical town where worthiness is found. For in this land of absurdity and glee, love's chaos is the sweetest melody. Imagine being that small child trying to fathom the idea that you're not worthy of love, that you will be used by men, that you will always be alone, while simultaneously processing this animal reading a poem that makes no sense at all, and start to feel that these words you heard from your mother as a child are just as confusing and nonsensical. And as you feel the nonsense in those words that you'll be alone, feel the seed being extracted from that childhood garden. Feel any of these seeds of ideas being planted. But most of all, the seed that you don't deserve to be loved. Feel how nonsensical it is, how confusing it is, how ridiculous it is. And imagine a delicate seed being taken from the ground and replaced with a new seed of an idea, the opposite, that you are worthy and deserving of love, and see that new seed being planted in its place back then when you were a child. The idea that you will be used or exploited, replaced, that the right relationship can enrich and add value to your life. And the idea that you'll always be left, that you will be lonely, replaced with an idea that you can choose to be in a relationship and you can choose to be alone. That whether or not you are alone or in a relationship is entirely based and what you choose to have in your life. Imagine these 3 seeds being planted in that childhood garden of your mind, taking root and growing into different trees with different fruits. And I want you to imagine you're in that garden seeing these trees grow, these new trees of worthiness, love and affection. And perhaps there's a comfortable chair in that garden. As you imagine the trees growing, open your mind to new ideas that complement these 3 trees in the garden of your mind. That you are precious, a unique gem worthy of affection, care, and adoration. That you have a capacity for both solitude and companionship, embracing the beauty of both experiences. Imagine as you get older in that garden that you are a magnet for love, effortlessly attracting the right person into your life. Embrace a deep conviction of your deservingness of a passionate, intimate, and deeply fulfilling relationship. The reason you value significance is because you want to be the center of the universe for the right person, someone who cherishes and values you. Embrace the power of the law of attraction, that as you not just think you're worthy and valuable, but know that you're worthy and valuable, that these thoughts and emotions draw love and desire from the right person to you. Open yourself to the magic of synchronicities and coincidences as they lead you closer to your ideal partner. Feel the frequency of love resonating within you, drawing in those who align with your desires. Perhaps you've been alone through choice, but acknowledge now that you are ready and worthy of a relationship filled with passion, intimacy, and companionship. Perhaps you can imagine a future where you share your life with a person who deeply understands and loves you, that gives thought to who you are and what you want. And as you see these 3 beautiful trees growing, you can release any lingering doubts about your worthiness and replace them with unwavering self-confidence and self-assuredness that you are desirable and appealing to the right person. And maybe your heart's been closed for a while, so imagine your heart as an open and receptive vessel, ready to give and receive love freely. And some things you can't make happen, but feel a wonderful sense of trust in the journey of finding the right partner. Perhaps knowing or believing that the universe is conspiring to help you, is actively working in your favor. And maybe these will create coincidences. You happen to meet the right person at the right time, finding you have something in common. Trust the universe is working for you. And perhaps you can recognize that the qualities and characteristics of the right candidate or prospect don't guarantee a relationship, but they open a possibility for a loving relationship. Imagine you're activating almost like a radar in your subconscious mind that the person with the qualities you find attractive suddenly becomes visible, and maybe in the past they've been invisible. And imagine how good it would feel to be so completely at ease and confident in your interactions with suitable candidates. Embrace the idea that you deserve a relationship that fulfills your deepest longings and desires. And when you find that relationship, there is no need to prove to yourself, to your mother or anyone else, that you won't be left by leaving someone else. If it's adding value in your life, just like flowers in the garden, you will nurture them. Give them the sunshine, the rainwater, and the nutrients they need and desire. Acknowledge that you are worthy of experiencing love in all its forms, including romance, passion, and companionship. I want you to imagine that years have gone by and you've seen 3 very different trees. Trees that represent that you are worthy of a relationship, love and affection that benefits both you and them. That for the right person, you are the center of their universe and they are the center of yours. And notice that these trees are large now. They couldn't be removed if you tried. And these new trees have replaced the old trees. And when you think back to that idea that you don't deserve to be loved, I want you to imagine it's as confusing as thinking about moonlit cheese and a dancing teapot. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel like you're leaving any childhood thoughts, any childhood garden, any trees that represent a new belief, and return to the present, but taking all these new ideas and ways of thinking with you, feeling that doors that were locked and closed are now open, allowing the possibility of wonderful experiences and relationships to be in your future. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, feeling like you're fully integrated into the present, as very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, feeling inspired, feeling worthy, and looking forward to what the future holds for you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.